Hey, welcome back, guys. It's another episode of Hooked on the Plot. I'm excited about this book. You guys are going to love it. I loved it. It was the best thriller I've read in a long, long, long time. Look at my lips. I've been drinking this ube coconut cream soda thingy. I get it from downtown, and it's really good. Before we get into the book, I want to show you guys the project I'll be working on. This is a blanket I'm making for my cousin's baby. I'm going to have it available on my blog as a free pattern for you guys to access. Has little hexes, as you can see. And I'm using yarns from Serendipitous Wool Co. And I'll list all of them here so you guys can know all the colors I'm using from her graffiti collection. There's 9 colors here I'm using for both the body and the hexes. And today, while we're chatting, I'm going to be working on this portion of the body. So it's growing on the sides. So this is her graffiti tropical. And I'm going to be adding that on both sides of it once I'm done with the minis to make it even and well, pretty. I just love all the greens and blues in this. It's gorgeous. This is my favorite colors of her graffiti collection. Love it. There is an old saying, the first lie wins. It's not referring to the little white kind that tumbles out with little to no thought. It refers to the big one, the one that changes the game. The one that is deliberate, the one that sets the stage for everything that comes after it. And once that lie is told, it's what most people believe to be true. The first lie has to be the strongest, the most important, the one that has to be told. So, guys, this is what the book opens up with. Oh my God. Let me tell you, this is going to be a fun little ride.
Welcome to Hooked on a Plot. I'm Elizabeth, and this is the podcast where we crochet and dive into my latest read. Settle in and grab your yarn. But first, take a moment to check out the trigger warnings on your screen.
The book begins with Ryan and Evie. They are getting ready for a dinner with their friends, with his friends. He's introducing her to his friends that he's known for decades. They are his childhood friends. Evie is very on edge throughout this whole thing. These people have old money, connections, and are very protective of Ryan, especially one of the women. She is watching Evie like a hawk. She is not taking her eye off of her. And Evie is sitting there thinking about every move she has to make because while she doesn't want them to know too much about her, she also doesn't want to raise any suspicion. She needs to be tactful about how she handles each phase of this dinner that they're having. And she knows if she's playing her cards right with these people, they're going to call her up, they're going to ask for her number, and they're going to want to have dinner with her. And that's going to secure her spot in Ryan's life for sure. The thing is, Evie and Ryan, they just met each other a few months ago. They just started dating, and she is already moving into his house. So she needs these people to accept her. She needs these people to think that she is with Ryan for the right reason. She doesn't want them to think that she is with him for his money because he just inherited a big house from his grandparents, and these people have money, like I said, and she does not. She doesn't want them to act like she's after all he owns and all this because they don't know anything about this girl. While she's going through dinner, we get a little flashback, and we know that she met Ryan right after she moved into town while she was working at this little restaurant that's at a truck stop. We also learned that she met him under suspicious circumstances. She orchestrated for them to start talking to each other by puncturing a hole in one of her tires and, sneaking her way through his low life. She doesn't have any, money, any education to show. So she is asking Ryan to keep how they met a secret because she doesn't want them to judge her. She doesn't want to miss any opportunities to secure her spot in his life. She is behaving in a manner as if her life depended on it. She is acting like, I need to be in this dude's life and I need these people to accept me so that they don't drive a wedge between us. So she's sitting there, she's making sure that she is changing the conversation, moving it away from certain, personal questions they're asking, because she doesn't want to tell these people a lie. Because as we said before, the first lie wins, right? And through her thoughts and everything, we learned that she does not want them to know who she is. Not because she doesn't have educations, not because of all the reasons I just listed, simply because Evie Porter is not real.
That's suspicious.
She does not exist. So we jump into a little flashback where we learn who Evie Porter is. Her real name is Luca Moreno. I'm going to keep calling her Evie throughout this just so that we don't get confused. She grew up in a trailer park in this place, like this little town that if you blink as you're driving through, you're going to miss, called Eden, North Carolina. Her mom passed away when she was still in high school from breast cancer. She's been a drifter ever since then, running small cons, stealing from people and stuff like that just so that she can make ends meet. But while she was running one of those cons, things turns really bad and she gets arrested. As she's getting walked to patrol car, a detective shows up and takes custody of her. He puts her in the car and gives her a phone, and there's a man on the other end of the line. This man gives her a choice. Either she starts working for him, or she goes to prison and has to deal with all these rich people that she was trying to steal from. So Evie feels like she's cornered and takes the option of working with the man. This man's name is Mr. Smith. Well, he trains her to become a ghost. He trains her to sneak into people's life, be able to, just exist when he needs her to exist. He's giving her fake IDs, protection from law enforcement, money, everything that she would need to accomplish the assignment that he's giving her. But he doesn't tell her much about it. It's usually like, get close to this person, go into this town, rent this apartment, blah, 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 and check this mailbox daily. And he'll put a message in there saying, you have to leave now, or you can date this person, get close to this person, move in with this person. It's never much information about what the point of the assignment is. She is just getting it as she goes. We don't know much about Mr. Smith. All we know that he communicates with her via that phone and also the mailboxes. So like I said, she has to check a mailbox, everything. He obviously has a lot of money and connection. That's what we know. Evie doesn't mind the life very much. It's starting over every a year or so. She has the access to a lot of things that otherwise she wouldn't have. You know what I mean? Even though sometimes the assignment is just like a couple of weeks or a couple of years, it's still better than the other options she would have had if she didn't have his protection. One thing we know is that it seems like most of the jobs that Mr. Smith sends her on is just recovering intels or something that's valuable. We don't know anything else besides that. So now we're taken back to the present time. And Ryan are at a Kentucky Derby party. These people, like I said, they have old money. They are Southern rich people. So this is the kind of scene they go to. While they're there, Ryan reluctantly introduces her to this old friend that he has. He's just like a low-level con who's been stealing from his friends and family, and Ryan has tried to help him in the past, but he got burned. So Ryan doesn't really want to be around this person. Evie doesn't want to either until she notices the woman that his friend Jason is with. She looks just like Evie. She's giving Evie's vibe before she became Evie. When Evie was Luca, she is looking just like that person. It gets even worse when the lady introduced herself as Luca Moreno from Eden, North Carolina. Evie starts spinning out of control. She is losing her shit. So she's like, hey, Ryan, excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom. I don't know, all of a sudden I'm sick. So she goes to the bathroom, starts thinking, trying to figure out why is this woman in this town? Why is she using my name and my identity? Is this dude trying to take me out? Why is he sending this person here? Who is this woman? And why is she using Evie's identity? Why does she have Evie's look and hair color and even her accent? She is Luca Marino. If somebody knew Luca Marino from the past and sees this lady, they'll think it's her. They won't think anything else. So that's how good the transformation was. So Evie does what she does best and breaks into the imposter's hotel room. And there she finds a file on Ryan, her assignment, her boyfriend. And she realizes that he is not telling her the truth about anything, about his life, about what he does for a living, nothing. So he's been lying to her as well. She is not the only con in this whole situation. My girl is going down that rabbit hole faster than Alice in Wonderland. She is, losing it. And to make things even worse, she gets this text message from Ryan as she's sneaking around that Jason and his girlfriend are coming over to their house for dinner tonight. So Evie is like, okay, let me get my act together. Let me figure this out. I'm better than this. I know I've been doing this for a long time. I'm going to set this lady up. So she goes home. She put this file somewhere in her bedroom to see if this lady is about to go and try to find it. She's testing to see if she's working for Mr. Smith. And the lady takes the bait. So she confronts this lady in her kitchen. She's like, what are you doing in my stuff? My stuff I've been moving, all that. She's confronting her. And this lady is bold. She ain't got nothing to lose. She's like, yes, you're not the one working for Mr. Smith. And as Evie is about to say something to her back, Ryan walks back in and he seems very out of it with Jason. It seems like the conversation they were having outside was not that great. So they move on and everybody's having a very, very tense dinner. Nobody's really talking. The couple leaves afterwards and they call it a night. Evie goes to do her thing, spiraling out of control, and Ryan goes doing whatever Ryan does. This is the first row of the graffiti wells. I like how it's not too much of a contrast with it. The next morning, the couple wake up to some crazy ass news. Imposter Luca, and her boyfriend, Jason, died in a car accident as they were driving from their house last night, from Ryan and Evie's house the night prior. And with that, Evie realizes that her true identity, the one that she worked so hard to keep, has been killed. Like, this accident was no accident. It was planned. And because hell has a basement, there is also an arrest warrant out for Evie. Oh, shit! Let's take a little break. This is Wakaima. It's the new pattern I'm going to be releasing in August of this year. But I want to start the testing period very early on. I want to give my testers over 10 weeks to be able to make theirs, especially for the larger sizes. I'm looking for 2 testers for each size. It's a 9 size pattern. It goes up to size 62-inch chest, I believe. I'm going to put all the information in the testers application, which is going to be linked down below. I do not require my testers to have a public Instagram page or social media. I do not need you to promote the pattern for me. You don't have to post X amount of pictures. I don't need that. All I need is to be able to see other things you've made so I can see I don't want to say the quality, but it is the quality of your work. I wanted to see if you've tested for other people also and who they are. The only reason I need you to have an Instagram is so that we can communicate through a group chat. I do ask that my testers take really nice pictures, simply because I would want to be able to share them on social media when the pattern releases, but there is no requirement for you to post about the pattern on your page. If you do, I do appreciate it, but there isn't a requirement for it. I understand that not everyone has the resources to be able to purchase a large quantity of yarn to test patterns. I'm offering to supplement my tester's yardage with yarn that I already have in my stash that will go for the project. The yarn that I'm sharing has to be used to make Wakaima. It cannot be used for another project. This is for me to be able to assist you in being able to afford all the yarn that you need to make the pattern, or as much as possible. I have 3 skeins of this one. It's called Jungle. that I'm putting up for this bag. I have one skein of this one. It's called Avenor. It's just one skein. That's all I have of this one. But it's gorgeous. And one skein of Cruel Peony. And if you have a question about something that I've missed, you can reach out to me on Instagram or just leave a comment here and I'll answer you.
I'm back!
So now our girl has no choice but to try to find out who Mr. Smith is and what he's doing before she loses everything. Because the real her just died and the police are coming after her. But when I say the popo are after her, they're not after her because of the car accident because they think she did something. They're after her because of something that happened during her last assignment. He's setting her up and she needs to find out why. So Evie starts digging into Ryan's life because she needs to find out why Mr. Smith sent her over there to, watch him, to get close to him. So she's going through his past, his business, anything that, can tell her a little bit about why he's her target. And the more this girl is learning, the more she realizes that she is being played. Mr. Smith has been manipulating everything around her. And Ryan, he's not as clueless or as charming as she thought. We get another flashback. We find out that Evie, she has a good read on Mr. Smith. She has been studying how he operates. Some of her assignments seem to be tests, while others were about really getting intel, getting information. And her last assignment for Mr. Smith, the one before Ryan, she failed. At the beginning, she thought that her assignment with Ryan was a test also. But now she's realizing that it's not. This is a real assignment. And her life, her future, forget her future. Her life depends on it. And because there has been so many tests, Evie decided that she needed somebody to help protect her. She created essentially her own team where she meets this very smart guy named Devin. And that's the only friend that she really has. Because she can't get close to people like that. That's the only friend, that's the only person that knows what she does and accepts her for who she is. Now we fast forward and Evie, she gets arrested. Remember the dinner at the beginning? One of Ryan's friends at the dinner, she is a great lawyer. So Evie asked for her to be her lawyer. And at first, Evie's trying to play it like, hey, I can't tell you everything, but I'm not this. I'm not Evie. I just need to get out of here. I didn't do this and da-da-da. I'm being set up. And the girl's not like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. Either you tell me the truth or I'm leaving your ass in here. So she goes and tells her the truth and she gets her out on bail. So now that Evie's out on bail, she is digging around and find out that Ryan is connected to some security leak. And Mrs. Smith's true goal was to use Evie to flush out Ryan because he was in hiding. And Ryan figures out who Evie is. And if hell wasn't already open, it's open now. Like, that door is busted. Okay? They spill everything to each other. Ryan tells her about all the underground shady shit that he was doing. She tells him about all the stuff that she's been doing to her whole life, her whole career, the fake identities, everything. So at the end of this, they decide, Evie essentially decide that she's going to play a last con, the con of her life. She's going to set up Mr. Big. She's going to set up Mr. Smith. Oh my God. So she starts acting as if she's finishing the job, as if she came back to her senses. And she's going to turn in all the secret to Mr. Smith as requested. But my girl, like I said, she was working, she was digging. She arranges a final handout. But when he shows up to get what he needs, he realizes too late that this was a setup. She outsmarted him. Evie found out that Mr. Smith has been double-crossing a bunch of very, very powerful people. Like people who would want to see him exposed. So Evie leaks out some intel. She makes it seem like Mr. Smith was doing a lot of illegal activities, which he was. But she makes it also seem like he was a traitor to the country, to everything, to the people, to her boss, to his bosses and everything. She is putting everything that she could get on him out there to the people that could get rid of him. when Mr. Smith finds this all out, he's sitting there talking to Evie. He tells her, today doesn't end the way you think it does. You better look over your shoulder every chance you get, because I promise you, one day I'll be there.
Honestly, the idea is pretty scary.
So the book ends with Mr. Smith's empire crumbling, falling apart. His bosses, like, they sold him out to the government. He loses everything. The whole world is in chaos from this. But the last thing he said to her, that sentence he just said to her, it makes it seem like somebody from his organization is going to come for her eventually. And she's going to regret it. Now we fast forward because, we need a little happy ending to this, somewhat happy ending, and find out that Evie has a whole new identity courtesy of her friend Devin, and she's living a happy life with Ryan. They end up together despite both being shitty, crappy people, I guess. My thoughts on this book. I did not mention a lot of the characters in the book because they were useless. There's a lot of useless characters that was introduced in the book. But besides all that, it's the best thriller I've read in a long, long time. I really, really enjoyed it. We did not make much progress. We barely finished a row and started a second one on this with the new color. But yeah, I'm going to keep working on this for the rest of the day. And hopefully by the next video, this will be all done and ready for you guys on the blog. Like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss my next upload. If you enjoyed this, please consider supporting me on Patreon for just $4 a month. It helps me keep making videos like this for you.